Yeah, but shout outs at this to the outro bloopers. Shout out Skip Bayless. Now I remember his name. It's my
Skip
turn.
Bayless.
You said it's my turn. It's
Ay,
my
ay, ay.
turn.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Breaking Points, giving you motorsports coverage beyond the checkered flag. And this podcast specifically, just NASCAR coverage beyond the checkered flag. My dad is making a first ever appearance. Keep the door open. I got the dog in here. Huh. Breaking news, though, which I don't know if you actually consider it breaking news because it's been out for a while now. But Clint Boyer is going to be in the number 25 for Colleague Racing this weekend at Dover in the truck race. Um,
The Unk Truck.
the Unk truck, yeah. Again, it's been out for a couple weeks, but now it's upon us. We're going to Dover this weekend. So, a lot of people have already voiced that they're excited for this. But Gabe, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's not just Clint Boyer. It's also Jamie McMurray who's gonna be filling in future weeks. So as I said, the Unk Truck or the Unk Mobile, whatever you call it. But yeah, it's always great to see uh an old timer come back and like show these kids what's up. Show these kids where they at. Like just that like old man with the skateboard meme. How do you do, kids, or something like that? I don't know, but yeah,
Tony Hawk.
I'll be watching. I will be watching.
Of course, we'll be watching. We do reports on it, which you can read at breakingpoints.com, especially if we remember to do the especially if we remember to do the reports. Shout out Sean. If you guys see this, go onto our Instagram and at Sean. Actually, I don't think we put out there that our ats are in there. Start commenting on our stuff saying where's the Watkins Glen truck report where Caden Honeycutt took his first win. Where is that? Not my fault. We digress. It's funny. Also, if you can't tell, Sean is not here. So we are allowed to make jokes, but it's fine. The only thing notable from the no apps race is that we need to publicly apologize to Dale. We're sorry.
Yep.
Again, if you watch the old podcast, you would know that we had to apologize to Dale every week, and it was a running joke. But during the actual race, they apologized to Dale. I don't remember what the context was. I think it was just like wrecking the car or something.
Yeah. The one I heard was at the end of the race when Zilish like literally parked the car right in the middle of pit road, like
Oh yeah.
right at the entry of pit road, and then
Or
you know
oh, it was when he blew up his when he was doing his burnouts and the tire was went flat. And they're like, "Don't
yeah.
destroy the car. He's gonna have to apologize to Dale for that." Oh, we'll talk about that later. But I want to bring up the cushion. I've got thoughts on that, but we'll talk about that later. For Cup Series, um, obviously we can't tell you who is all entering in the like all-star race just yet. That will be later in the episode when it actually gets announced. But we do have Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who has an extension. So squash the Hayek closing down rumors right now. Yippee, if you are a Ricky Stenhouse fan. Um, you got anything to add on that?
Yeah. As we were talking about like before the pod started. All right. Before the recording actually. Jesus, I'm already messing up. But
The
before
recording's been going on since you entered the call, by the way.
yeah, before
I
before
have
the
everything.
actual beginning of the what they're gonna see, all right, the conversation before you hit the intro, all right. We were talking about how RFK needed a third charter because they've been leasing one from Rick Ware for the past 2 years. So one of the concerns was where are they going to buy it from? And rumors said from one of the one car teams, and it was speculated that it was going to be Hayek and Ricky was going to be out of a job at the end of the season. But turns out it's not. He got a multi-year extension, probably two years or three. Probably two with the possibility of an extension. But I digress. It's 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 going to be down to either they buy out Haas Factory, um, they buy out a charter from Rick Ware, which is a legal trouble of its own because of the things they have going on with legacy. And if I mention Haas Factory, then it would be Wood Brothers. So a little bit of turmoil here and there. Not sure where they're gonna get the third charter, but I'm guessing Brad and the boys will get it done. Just a bunch of dudes running a company. Like whatever. All right, I'm just joking around, but I think they're gonna get it done. But regardless, a little bit less concerns for his job security now for Ricky.
I was gonna say that, or I heard worst case scenario, Brad was gonna retire. Have you seen
Mm.
that one? They said
I
that
mean,
there's rumors that Brad would retire, just chugging a beer, that Brad would retire so that Ryan Priest could keep a seat, which I could see that
mm,
happening. I don't think it would, but I could see it.
I
I mean,
mean,
I don't,
it's not improbable. It's not improbable, but
the odds aren't zero.
it's a non-zero chance. But I think he's gonna at least go one more year, or if he's dead set on retiring, then he'll be. I think it's gonna be a lot more a thing that's more talked about than it is right now. Someone's inevitably someone's gonna leak something. If if RFK is not talking to other teams, then someone inside the organization would know. All right, we're not talking to someone else. So I'm guessing Brad's retiring or we're letting go one of the drivers, which is not plausible. So Brad's retiring. Then I think something would have leaked by now. But if nothing leaked, I'm guessing they're talking to someone else, and there's a at least an idea of where the organization's going.
I hope. Because I cannot handle next season without Chris Buescher and Ryan Priest content. It's so entertaining. I cannot, I cannot last a season without it. I need to see someone stealing someone's car. I'm sorry. And then why do you leave your keys in your car, first of all? Is that just a normal person thing? I could never, even if I knew where I was parking, I could never leave my keys in my car.
No, this is
Ugh,
that's a weird thing, and that's
unless
kind
it's
of weird,
planned.
you know.
No, I don't even want to think
Maybe
about that. I really don't want to think about it if it was planned. I would
funny
actually,
story.
I would hate that.
Funny
Oh,
story.
please go.
One of my friends, right? He leaves his keys in the car. Like he does not need to take the keys out of the car, but not for like because like he trusts the people around him, but because first of all he takes the steering wheel with him. So
I've seen that.
are
I've
you
seen
gonna
people
twist
do
that little
that.
thing with your hand? Huh?
I've seen people do that where they just take their
Yeah.
steering wheel.
And no, yeah, you can't. How are you gonna drive it? You're gonna drive that little thing right there. And yeah, he's got another secret. I'm not gonna give it out to the world, but he's got like four different four different things that like stops other people from stealing the car, which is crazy to me. Even when he leaves the keys in the car, he could literally roll down the windows and no one could drive away the car, which is unreal to me. But I digress. Let's move on.
That's actually really funny though. Okay, let's start with this truck race. Um, First of all, let's start with the fact. Actually, do we want to? I don't know if we want to address the elephant in the room because it's going to sound really bad if we do address the elephant in the room. But if you watched last week's episode, you know that Destiny Spurlock was supposed to make her debut. But because they did not have enough owner points, she was kicked along with Tony Breininger, and Natalie Decker was allowed to race. But I think she ended up having to be kicked because she was below the Delta speed. Um, I have opinions on that. Um, Screw owner points. Whoever's faster is faster. Um, Even in qualifying, I think they were like 3 or 4 seconds ahead of Natalie Decker, but they weren't allowed to race based on owner points. I think that's stupid just because like they're faster, let them race. But alas, they weren't allowed to enter. So sorry, Sean. You lost last week. He's not here, but he doesn't get to know that his pick finished 38th out of 36. Let's be honest, I wasn't any better. Y'all were so happy that I got Ben Rhodes, who finished 32nd with a transmission issue. So, Gabe, you did win that one by a landslide. 30.
Yeah,
You were in 13th. You almost won that a
let's
whole 20
go.
points ahead of us. 20
Let's
positions,
go.
my bad. Andres Perez, consistent. Love that. But let's talk about that race. SVG, first of all, was nowhere. Connor was up at the front. I was so proud to see Brent Cruz leading for so long. And then obviously it wasn't meant to be. But you know who it was meant to be? Finally, the number 11 gets back into victory lane. I bet Caden Honeycutt felt like a weight just lifted off of him. Like knowing that team went to victory lane 12 times last year and knowing that he didn't have a win yet, I know that was weighing on him. So to do it, granted, I bet last week would have been better, or the week before in Texas, because that was his home track. That would have been better. But Watkins Glen's fun. It was a fun race. I don't think he's complaining that he won, period. But, and I said this before, I'll say it again. That was not a shotgun. Not a gun. Not a gun. Let me digress. Shotgunning a beer. As the only one in our group that is over the age of 21, um, you're in a different country. You're allowed to drink in your country. Chill. As he's drinking a Budweiser. Hey, Budweiser, sponsor us.
Budweiser, sponsor me, please. I'll drink like 5 beers on the show every week if you
We'll
sponsor me.
drink we'll
Genuinely.
drink on pod. Let's go. Yo, we should do a drunk pod one day when we're all
That
21.
would be crazy.
That would be so stupid. Imagine trying to, oh, if we were trying to analyze stuff, that'd be crazy. Point is, what was I saying? Oh yeah, shotgunning. Um, we already forget what we're talking about sober. What makes you guys think that being drunk or even tipsy is going to make that any better? It will not. But
Oh man.
shotgunning, if you don't know, you poke a hole in the bottom of the can, you put your mouth on the hole of the can, and then you crack the top and you drink it out of the bottom. That is what it is. If you just crack open the top and you pour it into your mouth, that's a chug. You chugged a beer. Granted, I have not met a single guy that is able to crack a can with their thumb. They have to use a key. All of my friends can't do it. Um, maybe I'll take a video of myself doing it later and show how easy it is for me to do it. Maybe it's because I have like no, I don't even have my long nails right now. But if you use both of them and you flip your wrist down to go with it, it's actually really easy. It's really easy to crack it with your thumbs. But maybe he was wearing his gloves. I don't remember if he had his gloves on. Then again, I feel like cracking the top would be worse with gloves on. I can barely do that with my normal nails. Imagine with gloves. I feel like I wonder if someone cracked it for him then. I don't exactly remember. The truck race is kind of blurry for me. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But um it was good racing. There was not a lot of cautions, which I feel like I expected more considering it was an early May, slightly overcasty kind of race. I don't know why. I expected either the track to be more wet, I expected there to be some kind of weather delay, or I expected people to just go off. And practically none of the above happened. Um, I know the O'Reilly's race, their qualifying got canceled. I did know that. So some session did get canceled. So we will give Sean credit for that. He did say one of the races would be canceled, but alas, the races went on as planned. It was the qualifying that got screwed up, but only for one of them. So I mean, sick. But trucks, any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Not gonna lie, it was for me, I did not watch it much.
Boo.
At least not until the end. Um it was a I watched replays. It was long runs of green and whatnot. Not a lot of actions in the early stages. Towards the end, a little bit more. Obviously, the final move from from Honeycutt was the highlight there. Obviously, not obviously. Actually, I got to bring up my receipts. I said it last week. He's gonna win here at Watkins Glen, and yeah, he won. Like
You did, and I put a
I don't
gold
know what I
medal
said.
next to you. I put a gold medal
Yes,
next to you.
yes, I did. Yes, I predicted
And
that shit. Hold up, pause. I swore. I just sweared. Fuck it.
I don't censor shit, but it's never at the beginning. So YouTube's fine with it. As long as it's not within the
Yeah,
first like 3 minutes, YouTube does not care. But apparently
yeah.
if we post videos of crashes, no way, we'll get copyrighted on that. Which I watched uh I watched Spring Talladega 2019 because I was bored. That's where the crash from Kyle Larson came from. I don't know if I just wasn't listening when we were going through the crash tier list or what, but watching the race on my TV and I just see him flipping multiple times into the barrier and I'm like, "Oh, I've seen this. This was in our tier list video. I know it was." And sure enough, it was still a good flip. Which, if you haven't watched that episode, I think it's episode 3. Ooh, NASCAR Dex. Do you want to take a guess who it is? I don't
What?
actually know who that is. I'm in a Discord where they have this bot where it's called NASCAR Dex or American stock car Dex. Every like, do you know what Be Real is? Like the app.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's kind of like that, where like every couple hours you just get notified and you have to identify who the driver is, the team, or the track. And it's completely random. And I am demolishing everyone in this NASCAR one. No one else is playing against me at this point. but I didn't know who that one was. I think it was Sam Bird, but I don't actually remember who it was. Um,
How have we
but
strayed
anyways,
so far off the the race?
welcome to the bloopers, guys. This would be so much worse if we were drunk, but we're not. What episode even are we on? Are we on episode 18 or I was supposed to wear the Williams Wallet shirt. If it is 18,
Yeah.
dang.
Anyways, as I was
Sandwich.
saying,
Go ahead.
as I was saying, Honeycutt had a great move at the end of it. Low bump and run on Connor Zilish. Beautiful move, and just took it all the way to the green flag. No issue. Uh, First win. I love that. I love that. You know.
And we are on episode 18. I feel like I should go run and put the shirt on, but I don't want to either. Because then I just have to edit more. Ugh. So you know what? We're just gonna talk about the standings. I am not gonna be like Sean and be able to tell you the difference between every single person on here. However, one of the notable things, Corey Haim is still in the top 10. Let that sink in for a little bit, you guys. Corey Haim, who has not entered, I think the last like two or three races now, is still in the chase. I'm gonna make eye contact with the camera when I say that. Do you understand that? Cool.
Yep.
Caden Honeycutt does still lead though. So at least there's that. He actually doesn't lead as far ahead as I thought he would though for winning the race. He leads by 29 points ahead of Chandler Smith. Um, and then he's followed by Lane Riggs, Gio Ruggiero, and Christian Eckes. So not bad. But the cut line, now while it would be Corey Haim, he's not eligible, but he is technically sitting in eighth. So replacing him is technically Tyler Ankrum and Daniel Hemrick and Stuart Friesen, who are like right at the edge. And then just outside is Jake Garcia, Brennan Queen, and Justin Haley. So these Colin guys, they're actually not as far off as I thought they would be. So I'm really happy about that. I want you to think about who wins the O'Reilly's race. And then let me tell you, you are right. But this time, he didn't fall in victory lane. Oh my God. Justin Marks, the team owner for Trackhouse Racing, pulled up in victory lane with a couch cushion from Connor Zilish's RV. Connor Zilish has not lost at Watkins Glen. In three entries, he has won it all three times. Surprised? No. Did we think SVG was gonna be at least somewhat more in this? I kind of did, but he was not. You would think that the road course warrior would be up there, but no. The funniest part about this, Gabe, you had Sir Shanley McVan Van Gisbergenet, and I somehow won the thing.
Yeah.
I won our little competition.
Yeah. You can reveal our competition standings, and I'll go rip into someone's pit crew. You know, I'll rip into multiple pit crews, but please reveal who won our little competition.
Okay. So obviously, Van Gisbergenet gets eighth. So you actually didn't finish the worst, but Ross Chastain finished fourth. Haha. But Blaine Perkins, 26th. That's that's unfortunate. Are you gonna rip into Blaine Perkins's crew?
Not really. No, I'm gonna
Oh,
rip into Shane's crew.
oh, valid. Please do.
My goodness, like, oh my goodness, That's the first one. I'm not gonna rip into them too much because technically the nine is a part time entry. So technically, technically, right? They are part time employees. So I'm not gonna expect the same out of them as the full time employees, which are the Brent Cruise's pit crew.
Oh,
My goodness,
real.
a 21-second pit stop. Lord have mercy. I understand like probably 3 seconds of it went to like wheel spin when Cruz stalled that Chevy. But my God, even if he took like 5 seconds to wheel spin, you know, that's still a 16-second stop. You know, that's like 3 seconds slower than average. 4 seconds slower than top. And then you lost him his like 4 second advantage, 4.5 seconds. Came out 3 seconds behind Zilish after the cycle. How is that possible? Right? Your guy just grinded, right? I'm gonna make this sound so dramatic, like
Please
because
do.
when people go and watch the replay and whatnot, and they're gonna say, "Oh, what? It's not that dramatic. He didn't grind through a traffic or whatnot." But like he was driving real fast, right? Brent Cruz has had a really fast car, right? And then on top of that, right? He made his team made a bold strategy call, right? Like I'm not gonna say it's like a crazy call, but it's still a bold strategy call that could send your driver tumbling down the order if that doesn't turn out right. They somehow gambled right, and you still messed up the strategy. How's that possible? I genuinely don't understand that. Right? They refused to pit at the stage break. They refused to pit when I don't remember who brought out another caution, right? And then they pit like almost like out of fuel, and then they mess it up. Like I'm gonna hold their hands when I say this. You gotta do better, right? That rear right guy just going at it, like taking like an extra 3 seconds to go around the five freaking lug nuts. My goodness. Please, it's just lug nuts. Untighten it and tighten it back up. Ugh. I'm not happy about it because I kind of rooted for Brent Cruz to succeed. Um, yeah, it's not a good feeling to see like I like to see good strategy. I like to see good strategy work out. And today and on Saturday, not today, on Saturday that did not work out because someone messed up a pit stop. That's basically it. I'm I'm devastated. I'm disgusted. Um, do better.
I completely forgot about Brent Cruz's butchered stop. I trauma dumped that. I did not want to think about that because that was his first that ruined his streak of top fives and it kind of irked me. But no, back on the Shane Van Gisbergen one. His team said, "Happy birthday, you don't get a win." Because he literally raced on his birthday. They said, "Happy birthday, we're gonna screw up your stop. Sorry about that. Not really. Good day." Uh, but no. Who else had a interesting day that day? Um,
Yeah, we
I'm
kind of
trying to
missed out
think.
on Jesse Love, who similarly
Oh,
had a huge again
he
like
was crying.
I'm gonna like this is something I'm like this is of no one's fault. I don't think this is of anyone's fault. Um
No.
they that was a I think they pitted with the cycle of right after I think it was right after Sheldon Creed's um
Oh yeah, he's airborne.
yeah, I think it was right after that. I don't quote me on that, but I think it was right after that. So they took a risk, didn't pit in the stage break, pitted during that cycle, decided to go long on the fuel and tires, and my God, it nearly paid off. I want to first of all, I want to commend the number two team for taking that risk. I want to commend Jesse Love. Nothing to be nothing to be ashamed about. You know, like that's a huge effort. You know, I felt for him when he had his like he was I saw that he was about to break down, and that was an athlete's moment. You know, an athlete you can see when another athlete's about to break down right after they lose. I had that feeling. I feel that feeling, and it's a tough one to lose, but nothing to be ashamed of. You know, it's a great race for him, a lot of points, but yeah, still a great effort.
Yeah, completely forgot to mention that, but Jesse Love basically dominated the entirety of stage three after that airborne moment from Sheldon Creed when he went through the grass, took a chunk of mud with him, and then actually went wee. Um, and he being Jesse Love, lost the lead in the last corner of the final lap simply because he went a little wide. Um, it doesn't help that you lost out to your best friend. Um, it does not make the sting any better. If anything, that makes it worse. Every time I lose out to my friends, it hurts more than when I lose to a complete stranger. Because it's like I have to see my friends next week. I don't
Yeah,
have to see
no,
this
yeah,
complete stranger ever again.
yeah, no. If like if especially like when you lose your friends, they're gonna clown you like for the whole freaking year, because they you lost to them or whatever. You know, I'll tell you, I'll tell y'all something, right? I lost a basketball game like 2 years ago to my friend. You know, it was ISO 1-on-1. Lost that game 2 years ago, and it still gets brought up every time we go out to hoop. Right, every time I go home and I meet up with him and hoop, that still gets brought up, and I that's that's bad. That's a bad thing to happen.
The worst thing is that's probably it was probably the opposite situation in Phoenix when Jesse won and Connor was crying in pit road. Not to not to bring back the trauma of Phoenix 2025, but I was there. Um, but also, how many sports can we bring up in an episode? Yes. I'm tying back to the comment. I saw you. Do it again, I dare you. Um, actually, I'm wearing hockey pants right now. Pause. I got I got my San Jose Shark pants on.
Oh
I love my
no!
San Jose Sharks.
Can't believe it.
What? I don't have a team here. We sold it. Soiled it. We sold our team. Who else am I supposed to root for?
Somehow
The Knights? Ew.
the most exciting young team, right? Somehow the most exciting young team gets another top pick. You know, oh, we're gonna, you know what?
Mm,
We're gonna give the Maple Leafs we're gonna give them Gavin McKenna, and we're gonna give the San Jose Sharks Ivar Stenberg. You know, and we're just gonna give them all the good forwards. Oh, my name is Gary Bettman. You know, I rigged the draft. I rigged the draft lottery. You know, well, whatever Gary
why is it
Bettman does.
even a lottery? Why is it a lottery? That makes no sense
That's
to
what I don't
me.
understand because they don't like. Here's the thing, NH, like I think the only league that has tanking problems is NBA, right?
I was gonna say NBA
Like,
does a lottery too, I think, or at least the
yeah,
women's league does.
and NBA they both do, but like NBA has the worst tanking problem, even with the lottery, right? But NHL, NFL, you know, NFL that you kind of can't tank because you're on such a short season. MLB, they kind of you're even if they try to tank, like it's kind of like when they start to tank, it's kind of obvious they kind of suck, like the
Yeah.
Rockies, the White Sox, the Angels, the Nationals, and whatnot. They just
Are
suck.
you talking smack about your own
My
team?
Angels, my Angels. You know, obviously the worst team right now, but I digress. Even like NHL players, they play for pride, like like they put their body on the line. So like you don't see actual tank jobs. Even the Canucks this year, they're like, why are we going into another sport? Why do we go to another sport? Pause. We
Anyways,
just went to another
welcome back to
squad.
Breaking Points, giving you apparently all types of sport coverage beyond every single checkered flag and whistleblow. Apparently, we just accidentally changed into legitimately every sport except golf. Like I've
You
just
want to talk
mentioned
about
basically
Bryson
every sport.
DeChambeau? Want to talk about live golf? You want to talk about
Let me
that?
let me call Greg real quick.
You want to talk about the PGA? You want to talk about how live golf is failing? Nah, nah, nah.
Dude,
Let's get
let
back
me
to the
let me
topic.
get Greg on here. Let me pull my mentor on here. He'll answer some questions about the PGA Tour. No. So we've gotten on topic. Off on topic. Wow.
Off
Off
topic.
topic. That's crazy. Standings though for the O'Reilly series. If it'll load. Shocker, shocker. Justin Allgaier still leads by a substantial amount. By
Somehow,
155 over Sheldon Creed.
somehow pulled out with 42 points after finishing 11th. What the hell? What the
You know
helly?
what? Doesn't surprise me. He's Justin Allgaier. Do you expect anything less?
Nope, absolutely not.
Both of them are still ahead of Jesse Love, Brandon Jones, and friend of the pod, Corey Day rounds out the top five. But at the cut line, guess who's finally in the chase points?
Ooh,
Red Cruz, the sensational 18-year-old. Have you seen that video? Oh my God. It came out like I remember the first time I saw it during it was the Olympics in 2024, and it's like it's a sensational 19-year-old Real Madrid player, young and successful, unlike you. And I know, so now every time I think of Brent Cruz, I read this and I'm like, they're like, Brent Cruz, the 18-year-old. And I'm like, young and successful, unlike you. And that is where the joke stems from when I say I hate seeing people younger than me being successful. That is where it stems from, guys. Hey, you're successful too, but I'm proud of you. Don't cry. So Brent Cruz. Brent Cruz is in the chase. We've devolved. Sam Mayer is in the cutoff position now. William Sawalich has dropped as well. Also, pause, rewind. Um, you said Brent Cruz drives a Chevrolet. He drives a Toyota.
no, no. Yes, actually, yes, I did. I did say that. Yes, he drives a Toyota. Yes, he drives a Toyota.
um, Raja Karuth is just behind William Sawalich, and Ryan Sieg is down in 15th place currently. Also, funny enough, it does not say what manufacturer Raja Karuth drives for, even though we know it is Chevy. Unless Jordan Anderson is somehow not a Chevy.
No, no, they are Chevy. They're all Chevy. They're
Well,
all
it does
Chevy.
not say it. Hold up, pause. It does not show anything. You see that one
I
blank
think it's a
spot?
you problem. I think it's a you problem.
It's a, you know what doesn't surprise me about this app?
Jesus Christ.
You got the
Whatever.
blur on. That's your problem.
Yeah, I got the
Oh, I was
blur on,
gonna
but
show you. Ah, my meme of the hour just swapped. It was Christopher Bell.
yeah, anyways. I'm
Speaking of
gonna I'm
Christopher
gonna shout
Bell,
out I'm gonna shout out one person. I'm gonna shout out Parker Retzloff. Great 2 week stretch. Actually 3 week stretch, finishing ninth in Talladega, fifth in Texas, seventh in Watkins Glen. Obviously, he's not gonna extract big time talk, big time points every single week, but still a shout out to him. I like that car. I like where the team's going. I like the message behind the team as well. So yeah, let's go, Parker. I can't see it. It's like
I know, I was trying to show
it's
you
like
the meme,
bright
but
as
it's not
shit.
loading. No, even if I turn it down, it wouldn't let me. But I have two different versions of it, and I saved this one for you. It says, I'd follow a picture of Christopher Bell to hell and back, but I wish he'd stop going there. I have that one, and I have a Carson Hocevar version.
Which is so real because Christopher Bell once again took us to hell and back. No, no. Actually, you know what? He didn't take us back. He
Not
didn't
even
take us
back.
back. He took us to 24th place and just stayed there. Right? Let's move on to the cup race. Um that was that was that was a doozy. I'll tell you that.
Not gonna lie.
That was
The most
no.
interesting part of it was the fact that someone's tent flew onto the track. I'm not gonna lie. That was probably the most interesting part of that race. Despite, well, actually, except for the last 30 laps. The last 30 laps were god tier. But before then, I think that was the most interesting part was that there were mini tornadoes around the track. So we
the
didn't get
the tent
snow.
flying,
Yeah. Oh,
the
my friends were
flying.
posting about it, and they said someone's poop tent just flew onto the track. And my stream was delayed, so I was like, "What do you mean the poop tent?" It looked like when some like when you're like camping and you have a tent for like your porta potty and stuff. That's what it looked like.
Huh?
I mean, if you look at it, it literally fits like one person.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of true. It's just yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of now that I think about it, it's kind of a weird looking tent.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Let's
we
pull
want
up a
to
picture.
we want to talk about Shane Van Gisbergen's w- great comeback. Do we want to talk
Sir
about that?
Shanley, Sir Shanley McVan Van Gisbergenet. I watched that video enough to make sure I knew how to say it for this episode, and yet Sean's not here to reap the benefits of me working really hard on it. I also cut that clip out and I put that at the very beginning of the last episode. And one of my friends saw that and they said, you actually do this on the pod, or is this like a bit? And I'm like, no, 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 this is like a thing we do. And they looked at me and they said, well, you've got a new listener. So, friend who said that, you know who you are. Welcome to the pod. It was very
Anyways,
funny. Um, he started on pole, birthday pole. Heck yeah. Um, alongside Michael McDowell, which I don't know why. I did not expect him to be as good as he was at this track. But he was on fire, and I loved it. Who else was up there? Austin Cindric, which needed a good result, and I don't think he got the worst one. If I remember correctly, oh, this is a perfect segue. Austin Cindric finished ninth. And in case everyone wanted to know, I did spell Cindric wrong once again on my note card because that was Gabe's pick of the week. You're not gonna cheer? I mean, you didn't win, but we both lost to Austin Dillon, which is
yay!
worse. No, you and me. You
Boo!
and me, we lost to Austin Dillon.
Dang it!
But at least At least mine was slightly interesting because I had Josh Berry, who finished in 32nd after unknown contact at an unknown time during the race that wasn't shown on the broadcast. Oh my God, guys, I love Fox. If you can see my face, you would see I very much love Fox. Like I love it so much. I hope that Prime Video never comes back. It Fox Sports is top tier. What do you mean that Cody Ware and Josh Berry got into each other at the very end, but because Shane Van Gisbergen was going to the lead, I don't even think he was at Ty Gibbs yet at that point. I think he was just approaching him, but it was still like a couple seconds out. What do you mean that just because SVG was getting up there, they don't show a crash? I wanted to see it because maybe I'm a big Josh Berry fan. I am this week at least. We don't discriminate. I always want to see our scheduled caution doing our scheduled caution things, except there was no caution. What? Did the stewards this week just take a break? Because the same thing happened in the IndyCar race. We're we're not even opening that can of worms yet. We're not even going to open that can of worms. If you want to hear someone good talk about what happened during the IndyCar race, go watch the James Hinchcliffe Alexander Rossi podcast. I don't know what it's called. Go watch that because Alex Rossi has firsthand experience of being screwed over by the stewards this weekend. I'm willing to bet that episode's gonna be top tier. So, shameless promo, go over there. But no, this race, even Gabriel is yawning. It was
Yeah.
not, it wasn't great. It was very straightforward. It was very green flag racing.
Yeah.
Uh, Not much to do except the mini tornadoes. Yippee. But then they decided to do a little interesting pit maneuver. Pit maneuver. Not maneuver. That's shit. Maneuver.
Maneuver. A pit maneuver. Are we
Pit
are we watching
maneuver.
Georgia State Police highlights?
Potentially. I don't know what that is. But
What? Uh, Georgia State Police pit maneuvers. Gotta search
no,
that out. You gotta up your game, man.
I'll up
Gotta
my
get the
game
highlights going.
shortly. I will up my game after the pod. But SVG had to pit at a certain point because he was running out of gas. Of all the people that decided to stay out and give me a slight heart attack for potentially winning the race, it was Ty Gibbs. Of course, it had to be Ty Gibbs. But no, Connor Zillis was right behind him too on the same strategy as Gibbs, but could not pass him to save his life. The last 30-ish laps, though, let's just say it was very funny. I distinctly remember like right before um I think SVG hadn't even gotten to the top 10 yet. Or maybe he had just gotten to like eighth. And then they're like, the commentators had said something about um we need to start playing the Jaws music because SVG is coming. And then Connor and Ty Gibbs went into the bus stop and both of them locked up their tires. And then continued to keep locking up their tires every other corner until Connor decides to pit when SVG is right behind him. They kept locking up their tires. And I'm gonna blame the commentator's curse on this because they said the Jaws. soundtrack. I mean, I was playing the Jaws soundtrack in my head. He was coming up there, and I know for a fact their spotters were saying like, "Hey, he's right behind you. He's got newer tires. He's got more fuel than you. Just let it happen." Not to pull a Thanos over here. I know that's a dead meme, but it was inevitable. The little snaps. You guys can't see
I
it and you
am
can't hear it either because
inevitable.
our neither of our microphones pick up snap noises. So we can be snapping against these microphones and you wouldn't hear it. I don't hear you clapping either. That's the funniest part.
That is
Our
crazy.
mics are so good. Our mics are so good, guys. Um,
Yeah.
thoughts,
Whatever.
thoughts. Whatever are your thoughts?
Huh?
I
What
say,
did you
what are
say?
your thoughts?
Oh yeah. Okay. I'll go on. Yeah, it was a as I was saying at the start, it was a bland it was a bland race, you know. It was a whatever race, you know. Um it wasn't a tough watch. Let's be s- let's be straight about it. It wasn't a tough watch. It was a good watch towards the end. When Logano brought out the caution and like really split people into different strategies, that's when it kind of got exciting, you know, like, oh, you know, you got a few guys here who decided not to pit, you know, these few guys, and then they got to go on green flag stops, and they have to do a chase down, you know, and obviously they did. You know, you got Michael McDowell on the crazy comeback for second. Um, obviously SVG LeBron chased down Iguodala just to smack that layup to the boards, and then come back. Kyrie hits the three just to show that he can, you know, finish the race 15 seconds ahead of Ty Gibbs, you know, boom, no biggie, you know, just like putting the pedal to the metal. Um, I don't know, you know, like obviously the extra 10 laps that was added to this race obviously did something to the strategy where it kind of created an exciting point where people went on different strategies, but definitely um SVG's the GOAT at road courses. You know, like who's gonna stop him? Like during the race, I was saying the only thing stopping this guy is a gas tank, and it didn't stop him at all. You know, caught them with like 5 laps to go, passed them without like broke zero sweat, and then just put the pedal to the metal. Finished 15 seconds ahead. Right? Like how is that even possible? He gained like he gained like 30 seconds in like I don't know, like 15, 20 laps. Unreal.
I was gonna say,
Un
I think it was 12 laps, and he ended up winning the race by 7 over Michael McDowell because Michael McDowell was on the same strategy as him, and they both pitted at the same time, and Michael just passed Ty Gibbs as well. But it
yeah,
was
no.
still over by Michael by 7 seconds, and I think
Yeah,
it was
still
15
like
seconds over Ty Gibbs.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, no. I here's the thing, Michael McDowell, like I took a huge gamble because he's in a bad driver. Let's start off with that. He's in a bad driver. The car ain't bad, but he ain't SVG, you know. You know, like we can talk about, oh, like, you know, this guy ain't bad, but you know, he ain't SVG as well. So like huge effort by Michael McDowell. Loved that performance. Yeah, towards the end it got better, but definitely not an exciting race per se.
Nah, it needs to stay in August, which it's going back to August. Breaking news, I forgot about
Yay!
that. It is going back to August in 2027. When I first saw that, it said that it was back to the Chase area. I thought that meant it was going to replace the Roval. in the chase this year. And I was like, we're gonna go there twice. I thought that was gonna be really funny. But also, side note, um, I don't know if you saw like the extras that Spire did. They did a bowling competition with Michael McDowell, and Tristan McKee was in it. The ARCA guy. Do you know Tristan
I
McKee?
don't know who that is. I do not
Oh my
follow him
God,
enough.
he's so cool. He's really good. He was in Phoenix, and I got to see him too. He was really cool. Dude is like, I would honestly say he's probably next, like Brent Cruz type of driver. Like I think last I heard Tristan was like 15 or 16, and he's like
What?
he's winning. Yeah, and he's winning a lot in ARCA, but he's Inspire. And the funny thing is, Michael was asked like, um, what he thinks of Tristan, and he said, "When Spire determines that he's ready to step up to Cup, I will retire." As if like insinuating that he would give up his seat for Tristan McKee. Are you looking up Tristan right now?
Yeah, yes, I am. I'm looking it up.
How old
That's
is he? Is he 15 or
he's
16?
15. He is 15. He's born in 2010. He's born in 2010, dude. Oh
This
no.
isn't real.
Oh no.
This isn't real. Um, did you have any bad pit crews? I didn't notice anything wrong with the 12, but then again, I also wasn't watching the 12.
I
I also
I
love how
I
I
I
just
didn't
bully the 12. That's the only team I bully.
I didn't focus enough in on the pit stops. I think I think the people who went on the alternative strategy, like the one that Shane was on, the Reddicks, AJ Allmendinger, obviously McDowell and SVG, their crews all executed their stops pretty well. Obviously, all four of them ended up in top 10 positions. So it's a testament to like, obviously you need your driver to execute, but you still need a good stop to like uh help out your driver, and they did that. So I mean, shout out to them. A green flag stop is huge pressure. Caution stops if you mess up. Obviously, I'm still gonna chew them out, but um there's a chance for the driver to make it back up because on the restart you're all bunched up and whatnot. But green flag stops if you mess up, that's at least 2 to 3 actual racing seconds. Not a few, not a caution, like not the bunched up caution. You're actually racing 5 seconds behind. So there's a difference there. So yeah, huge shout out to those guys.
I was gonna say something and now I don't remember what it was because I started looking at. Oh yeah, that's what it was. I am very proud to say I had originally put Connor Zilish as my 36 for 36 pick, but then I changed it to SVG. I changed it to SVG on Thursday. I was like, let's change this. I would rather put him in for San Diego. So that being said, the official entry list is not out. So I
Really?
don't have to ask anyone to share their screen, or I don't have to make them share their screen. And I'm cool. I have an ad blocker. I like throwing Sean under the bus. It's fun. Do we want to make him spin first?
Yeah, let's make him spin first.
We spin for Sean. Ow. Hopefully he gets someone that's actually entering. I would actually Grant Enfinger. You know what?
Not bad. Not bad.
That's not a bad pick. If I can spell it right, that'd be great. You or me?
I'll do second. I'll do second.
Cool. Justin Haley.
Oh,
We pulled out all the way to the end. Now I'm gonna get someone really bad. Eh, Cold Butcher could be worse. That actually could be worse. Now we have all the funny names for the O'Reilly's race. I'll do this one. I forgot. Mother Truckerton! I got Anthony Alfredo. It was between Alfredo and Raja Caruth, but it was legitimately on the line. That's unfortunate. Fredo. Now you get Brandon Jones.
okay.
That's not a bad one
Okay.
either. It's trying, my
It's
phone is trying to
whatever.
auto
It's
current
whatever.
my phone. What? Do you not like Brandon Jones?
Eh, half and
It's
half.
better than Mr. White Gloves.
Yeah, absolutely. That is true.
And Sean gets LeVar Scott. At least I'm not the only
Ooh.
one with a rookie in this situation. And now Cup. Yes, I did write Van Gisbergenet on here again. I do not care. I'm not creative enough. Ah, Hamlin at the All-Star race is crazy. That's unfortunate. Now you get. I'm gonna get someone so bad if you wait. Oh, you got Ty Dillon. I was for
Ay, ay,
sure you were
ay,
getting.
no.
I was for sure thinking you got Elliott. Oh,
That
damn.
is
There's the
uh
dud of the day. Now watch me get where? Watch me get the one worst person. Oh, arguably someone kind of worse. And no, this is not me being upset. It's just Briscoe has been kind of not great as of recently. So we are, I mean, unless there's anything else we wanted to add about Dover. I don't think it's a points paying race for Cup. I don't think so, but I do think the other two series it is points paying. What do you think?
I don't remember.
If okay, I'm assuming since I can't enter my 36 for 36 that it's non points paying. That's what I'm basing this off of right now.
That's probably it.
Cool. Take it away.
Oh yeah, it's my turn. My turn. It is my turn. In honor of God dang it, I forgot his name. Whoever he was, a sports commentator who returned to ESPN for one single day. But yeah, it's my turn. Yeah, it's my turn to do the outro. Um, we're going to Dover. I think it's the All Star race for the Cup Series. Points paying for the O'Reilly's and Truck Series. So we'll see how it goes. Go tune in and watch the race, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.